You can set your watch by it. We talk pigskin at 4 o'clock here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. And Pro Football Focus is floating Austin Ekeler to the Panthers. Austin Ekeler, a guy that is likely going to be available, right? The Chargers already kind of winning the standoff against him last year, and now that Jim Harbaugh is in, I doubt he's going to be in a rush to sign an older running back, right? I'm on the record many, many times saying I don't like old running backs. So this may surprise some of you. I don't hate Panthers and Ekeler as a group.
Really?
I don't hate it for a very short-term deal, like 1 or 2 years max, right? Even if it's a 3-year deal that he signs, you have to have the out after 1 year. And if you have to, give him a little, I'm talking like $2 or $3 million guaranteed the next year, like nothing. And I think you have to be wildly blunt, like almost rude with your bluntness, with your expectations up front. Ekeler wants to stay the focal point of an NFL offense, right? He's got to put that on the table and say, Super Bowl teams probably aren't going to give me a chance to touch the ball 20, 25 times a game. That's when he plays best, right? He's somebody that needs to catch the ball a ton out of the backfield, 10 catches, probably get 15 carries. That's what he needs. And if he wants to still do that, he's going to have to be able to take some cold, hard truths. Austin Ekeler wants to stay the focal point of an offense, and the Panthers want to absolutely overwork a quality back to make everyone else's job easier. And they have to look at each other and say, "This is we're not getting together for love here, right? We're not dating for love. We're not dating for long term. We're a business proposition. We're here for function. We're here for you to do me a solid and me to do you a solid." Look at what Dave Canales did last year. Dave Canales, new head coach of the Carolina Panthers, a season ago was the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rachaad White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their running back, had the second most touches in the NFL. Catches and carries combined, he had the second most in the NFL and was the only person within a stone's throw of Christian McCaffrey. So second to CMC, nobody else had more. That offense was designed by Dave Canales to help get an undersized quarterback back on track. Right? That offense was designed by Dave Canales to get Baker Mayfield back on track in his career. So guess what? Dave Canales is now designing an offense to get an undersized quarterback back on track. This time it's Bryce Young. So what do you think he's going to do? He's going to find a running back that can touch the ball a boatload. If it's Chuba Hubbard, you're good. If it's not Chuba Hubbard, then you're going to be looking for a guy. Austin Ekeler, as long as he can stay healthy, is that dude. You can check it down to him a billion times out of the backfield. You can tell Bryce Young, hey, listen, it's never a bad decision to get it to Ekeler in the flat. It's never a bad decision to check to the screen to Ekeler. Because it really hasn't been a bad decision to do that for Justin Herbert over the first, 4 years of his career. Ekeler has to know what he's getting into, but if he agrees to it all, I'm cool with it.
The only thing that concerns me with Austin Ekeler, going back to last season, we sort of saw a decline from what we saw from him in 2022, 2021, 2020.
Well, you want to know the funny part about Rachaad White? Didn't even run for 1,000 yards last year. Got the ball a ton. It's more about the amount of plays. That, he doesn't have to be the Ekeler we've seen of 10 years ago, or I don't know how long, 7 years ago, where he was a threat to run 60. He has to be dependable, right? We all saw, I think it was actually a late check down to the left sideline to Ekeler, and then he was booking it up the sideline, and he looked like a fullback. He was, the train was a chug, 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 chug. Chug, 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 chug. He was running not the fastest. But guess what? Made the catch, and it was still probably a 20, 25-yard gain. This past year, Rachaad White was not the fastest, most explosive guy in the world, but he was dependable. He was in the right spot, pass protected well, and on play actions did what he was supposed to do, was where he was supposed to be, and Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin took up the chunk plays. But they didn't have to ask Baker Mayfield to be it didn't have to be the passing game opening up the run game. It was the run game opening up the pass game. But again, I'm telling Ekeler, we'll pay you a decent amount this year. Not a ton, right? We're not giving you top of the market money. But we'll pay you a decent amount this year. Next year, it's going to be almost impossible for you to get any cash, right? Because everybody gets worried about running backs with tread on the tires and all that. We're giving you the ball 300 times this year. There will be no preserving your legs. There will be no take a veteran day. There will be none of that. There will be no thinking about your next contract. This will be another year where you get to be the focal point of an NFL offense and be a good fantasy running back and get a bunch of catches, and your legacy here will live on for a much longer time based on how you help Bryce Young develop. You'll be his OG. You'll be in his buddy in the backfield. And then 15 years from now, when you're still hosting your fantasy football podcast and Bryce Young is finishing up a Hall of Fame career, knock on wood, hopefully, you can say, I had a part of that, right? I was his vet. I got him back on track. He trusted me, right? And then your podcast gets a cool guest because Bryce Young comes on every year. That helps.
So you're saying in order for this to work, and I guess based on salary negotiations, contracts, whatever, this would require Austin Ekeler to be primary running back for the Panthers next season.
The only reason you'd bring him in is to be primary running back. And by the way, I'm not saying it has to be Ekeler. It has to be someone comfortable being out there for 3 downs, right? It has to be somebody out there that is comfortable having that weight on his shoulders, right? There are certain running backs. I don't think Devon Achane, the running back who burst onto the scene and averaged 8 yards a carry for the Dolphins, I don't think he's ever going to be a 3-down back. Great back, right? Fantasy football will love him too. He's going to have big plays, highlight plays, but he's going to have to tap his helmet and come out for a bunch of plays. Eckler's not that dude. He'll make a catch, take a hit, get back up, come into the huddle, step up on the next play, pick up a blitzer off the edge, get knocked on his behind, but get run over slowly so Bryce Young can get the throw off, come back the next play, pick up the first down on 3rd and 1. At no point in time was there anything explosive there. But it was enough, right? It was enough. So that's what I'm saying. It could be him. Somebody throw out Dalvin Cook. I don't know if Dalvin Cook was efficient up until his last this past season. If you tell him, hey, you want to be a starting running back in the NFL again, we'll pay you darn near nothing and just absolutely give you the ball until your legs fall off. If you're cool with that, come on, I'm fine with it. But it has to be that kind of business relationship where you're saying, listen, you're coming in here as an ox, right? We're going to use you to plow land. We're not bringing you in here as some kind of show pony that's going to go do the equestrian. You're coming in here to work. If that's what you're going to do, then yeah, you can look at these veteran running backs for 1 year. Derrick Henry, he's probably too expensive, but for 1 year. Gosh, I wish they would have paid a running back like that instead of Miles Sanders last year.